Hello, everyone. I am back to recording after quite a while. I have been doing the Lord's work in the ministry. I always wait on the Lord for what I do, and sometimes events trigger His leading me into a certain direction, and this is one of those events. On September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk, co-founder and CEO of Turning Point USA, was assassinated on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. I am sure you probably know of this by now. Charlie was a devout Christian who stood for truth and loved Him. But others hated him, and they hate true Christianity as well. I have met many of those people. So I began contemplating what happened to Charlie, and the Holy Spirit fell upon me and revealed that I was to research evil's corruption of the information highway. So my journey began, and I was shocked at what I found. Thus, I aptly named this lesson, Corruption of the Information Highway. Of course, you may think you know exactly what I will be talking about, but I may surprise you. It did me. I do have a vast background as a software and information technology engineer, so I began investigating the internet and AI, artificial intelligence. I fully understand that technology has positive capabilities for the world, but it also has negative capabilities when used for negative purposes. In other words, it will provide results based on the data and algorithms you put into it. What once was true can be easily changed to look false. So I first searched on the word fascism, since people are called fascists every day in the U.S. To my astonishment, I found that my results were not what I knew to be true from my high school and college days. I discovered that the liberal political left, politicians, media, educational subgroups, and individuals have been changing search data and historical information across the internet and AI data resources to show false information about the right, far right, and Christians. The data has been and is still being updated to claim that the far right caused many past and current events, including fascism and Nazism. Christians are considered far right. This provides a methodology for educators, media, and others to indoctrinate the world with false records and makes false claims in the media. In other words, to make lies reflect truth and truth reflect as lies. Isaiah 5:20 says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." My first search example, as I spoke about, was fascism, and I used Google. And the results revealed a fascism Wikipedia article that was published in 154 languages that begins with, "Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, and ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement that rose to prominence in early 20th century Europe." Gemini AI search on fascism returns the same result. Both research details contain far right, which is false and has not been listed in older online documents. If you search for fascism in the Encyclopedia Britannica on Gemini AI, you get a full, almost totally true article that does not mention far right, and it shows how fascism was a methodology for Mussolini and Hitler, not Christianity. My search revealed that the far-right comments were written by left-wing editors, and they set them as search projects which do not allow editing. In fact, Wikipedia reveals that you can be banned if you complain too much because they list it as harassment. Yet Wikipedia boasts a site that anyone can edit. I discussed this information via email with the project group over these results and was told they used information from many resources, which are all left-wing. I further discovered that all the sources have been edited to add right wing into the data. So I did another search, Google's fascism search example, and this was on the CFR Education. CFR is the Council on Foreign Relations. And it says, what does fascism really mean? And the article is dated October 31st, 2024. This report begins sounding convincing, but caution should exist in the title, really mean, which implies a new definition has been found and you should discard anything from the past. In fact, look at the creation date it listed. Did fascism really start in 2024? This article does report that fascism began between World War I and World War II from fighting communism, which is true. But the balance of the article adds false information, including the claim that the Nazi Party advanced the idea of Aryan racial authority, essentially white Germanic Christians. The Aryans were not Christians. They were anti-Semitic. Does anyone believe that any member of the Nazi Party was Christian? The Nazis did talk with the Pope on many occasions, but that had nothing to do with Christianity. It had to do with anti-Semitic sentiments and power. In fact, every player in the formation of fascism in this period were known to be anti-Semitic, and they all claimed to be for the forgotten masses by inducing the fear of a communist takeover in their people. Mussolini of Italy is recognized as the one who set the foundation for fascism in his plan for taking power in the Italian government. He also joined forces with Hitler, and nothing he did could ever be called Christian. In the article, fascism is redefined so that it can be used against the political right and Christians of today. I found similar results in many other search items. They all showed recent updates in current and previous years. The corruption is still happening today. What should you do? Well, everything is suspect. As for fascism, when you search the online Encyclopedia Britannica for fascism, you will find a Closer to Truth article, but it has also been updated with the last update of August 15, 2025. At least as of that date, it does not list far right anywhere, as I said earlier, but recent updates do try to imply it. However, it finally admits that many have been working to redefine fascism for their own goals. That is what has been happening for years. For everything else, do not trust anything you find online. You must validate the information from multiple sources. If you are searching biblical information, check to see if the details match the Bible. Of course, make sure you are using a validated Bible. Not all online Bibles are accurate, but I have found good results using the Bible Gateway. If you are researching historical information, find supporting documentation in old encyclopedias and source documents. Beware of any internet or AI article with updates within the past 10 years. Finally, for parents, be aware of what your children see on the internet and AI. There is no truly safe environment on the internet anymore. It may be too late to act if you wait until you see negative changes in your child's personality. Now, I know this may seem like a lot of negative stuff in this message, but this is a great warning and stuff you need to know. You have to take responsibility for what you are researching and finding on the internet. Make sure what you're seeing is true. If you're using AI a lot or you're using online apps and stuff, make sure you're checking that data out. Whatever they're saying, but find something to back it up that's true. And know that on online stuff, check any old encyclopedias you have to make sure that it's true. And it's not adding things that allows wicked people to call Christians by wicked names and to blame us and the right in political arenas as being the cause of all this, which is false. God bless you all, and I hope you have a good day.